Hey Saber fans, so I have a beautiful, pretty rare hilt for you today. It's a KR Sabers Qui-Gon Jinn, or QGJ. A beautiful, beautiful finish. One thing I've noticed that stands out from this compared to the others is this pommel is so much more pronounced on its actual lip curvature. Something that I see that Ultimate Works doesn't get right, something that I think 89 Sabers improved upon theirs to where it's very similar. But I love that 89 Sabers has the hidden venting, but the sound venting on this is ridiculous with the right speaker. The other thing that they do right with this is that beautiful, beautiful copper blade plug. Accurate to the prop. It does tarnish. It's real copper, ladies and gentlemen. It is beautiful. And of course, it sits flush against that. Yeah, beautiful saber. This was originally mine, but then I sold it to thin down the collection like I usually do. And the customer requested an auxiliary switch. I was going to do a one-button setup, just freaking loud, really loud. This has one of those Chinese speakers running at 2,000 on the config. Stupid loud. It can get pushed up to 3,000 for 3 watts, but 2,000 is just good God. Customer did request an auxiliary button, so I added a brass tactile right there. And I'm short on a full-length NeoPixel blade, so this is what we're going to be working with today. Has a nice M3 set screw on the backside. There we go. Of course, full color changing. I dialed this activation switch in perfectly to where it's not easy to press, it's not hard to press, but a good press will get it. And of course, twist activation and retraction. Wow, that is almost deafeningly loud. I had to get a little creative with this install. I was going to use a stock PCB since that's what the chassis calls for, but I noticed that it didn't really fit. Like, the PCB didn't fit. Even with a lens, it was still too big. So, I had to... let's see, where does this one? No. Actually... Yes, I cannot screw. That's right. Couldn't remember off the top of my head. I had to improvise with a TCSS NeoPixel holder. I had to shave down the sides and get an 11-pin holder in there. And it doesn't really matter because, this, you can't see through this anyways whenever it's in. Trying to be careful not to touch that too much. Yeah, I love how that brass tactile turned out. It's in great position. So, it's not accidentally pressed easily, but still. Red. It's still good. Get it with multiple fingers. Whew. Oh, okay, I'm good. The sucker is very, very loud at 2,000. That might actually be too loud. Who the hell am I kidding? Yeah, this is a beautiful hilt. Nice polished aluminum shroud, polished aluminum top. Beautiful black anodizing. You can kind of see some machine marks down in those grooves just from where it went back and forth, but it's very subtle. It's very clean, very well done, and look how deep those are. Good God. Very deep. Cover tack's held in place with a set screw, or not set screw, a button head screw. That's how you access your chassis and everything. And it did come with a static pommel cap as well. By the way, KR Sabers has another run of these coming out next year. Might want to hop in on that one if you're looking for a very screen accurate very accurate Qui-Gon. Fantastic hilt. So we have our 28mm bass speaker, 2.1mm recharge port. And in order to access the chassis, you need to use the included Allen key set. I believe it's the biggest one in the bag. Pretty sure. Yep. The biggest one in the bag. See if I accidentally activate it. Undo the cover tech. Take the cover tech off. And this part can be kind of tricky with that brass tactile there because it likes to get caught. You want to kind of just finagle it a little bit. Press it in, push it. You can either take it all the way off, like I'm going to do, carefully. There you have your guts.
Purple.
So we have the Goth Redesigns chassis, and I actually had a leftover part from a previous 89 Sabers install, so that's what I used to hold the switch with. I just had to modify it a whole lot on the sides because it didn't quite sit flush. The Goth Redesigns chassis has a nice little lip right here where you can pull out the board with. So you have your full board access. When you're done, push it back in.
Yellow.
And this will be done anyways whenever it's all squared away. Slide it up. I usually try to keep the brass tactile underneath the shroud, just because it makes it easier.
White.
CNC.
There we go. Line up the hole. Pretty sure my client's very excited to get this in. He's been very patient with me, so don't have a blade to show off for you today. I do on the MK1 that I'm also shooting today, but yeah.
Smooth jet, smooth gray. Eton.
So let's just run through all these blade presets real quick. So first we have Eton Crystal by Daryl John Donato in the open source groups. Oh, it's going to be painfully loud. Oh well. It's a blue for Preon. Free font, love it.
Blue.
So sky blue.
Green.
I've already seen this one. I think these next 6 fonts are all from Jesse Kirkbride. So the blue was his Kyber blue, the Kyber green,
Red.
Kyber red. Stupidly loud. Jesus.
Purple.
You'll never guess what color this is. It's not purple, it's white. My client's going to be uploading configs anyways, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yellow.
God, boys. What I love so much about this is that you can feel the vibrations through the grooves.
White.
You can feel it. You can feel it up here too. Yeah. The whole thing is vibrating with the sound. God, I love proffie.
Team C.
Nice dark orange. There's a Kylo. Here's a blue power surge. Makes me think of Jaws every time I hear these default fonts.
Smooth Jedi.
Here's the flame.
Smooth gray.
That's Dark Saber.
Eton.
And back to it. If I had to choose a favorite in between all those fonts, I would have a hard time. Daryl knocked it out of the park with his Eton crystal, but so did Jesse Kurzweil. I honestly couldn't choose. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. So I'll pop this kill key in there. So yeah, we have the NeoPixel module up here, battery in here, switch held right there, another switch there. You've seen the rest. All tucked away nice and neatly into a beautiful piece of work. That red button though, God, it is just glorious. Let's see if I can get this. My camera does not like to autofocus. Finish on this just perfect. I did notice one blemish in this whenever I first got it, and it was kind of disappointing, but oh well, it characterizes it a little bit more. But you see these claws right here coming down? So that one's perfectly smooth. This one, however, has this little dip in it. It's almost like it got scratched. It's like a deep scratch, but it's perfectly polished over. And it's completely straight. The entire profile for the underside is straight. But it's just yeah, it's okay. It's still a beautiful hilt. Absolutely fantastic. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, may the force be with you always.